Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Fantasy Cup, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Guzzlord. Guzzlord running a very unconventional moveset. I got sick and tired of seeing Giratina on just about every other team, so Guzzlord's in the back to call that Giratina usage. And also on this team, we've got Galarian Weezing on the safe swap. Galarian Weezing, one of the better safe swap options in the Fantasy Cup meta, and we are rolling with Sludge, not the best move, but very well suited for this meta. And rounding out the team, we've got Escavalier on the lead to handle opposing steel types. Escav, a staple of the Fantasy Cup meta, handles A-Slash and Berserker quite well on the lead. Yeah, this moveset really was very effective in this Fantasy Cup meta, and here we go. We've got the lead we want, had an A-Slash. So they make a play into a Giratina. You can look at the typings, but you don't know which Giratina it will be, so I like to wait until the Pokemon actually appears to know which Pokemon to come in with. If they come in with Origin, of course, you're going to meet it with your Snarl Crunch Guzzlord. Oh, nothing more satisfying. Going for this first crunch doesn't KO, but we can get a nice snarl down here as their moves are hard-walled by our dark typing here. You don't want to meet a altered with Guzzlord if you have a Galarian Weezing in the back. So that's why you got to be a little bit patient, and it really doesn't matter if they get too far ahead on energy, as long as you meet it with the right Pokemon. So they come back in as predicted with the A-Slash. And I was finding that a lot of these A-Slashes will go for an insanely aggressive resisted farm down, all the while taking damage along the way, as we are quite spammy with Snarl and Crunch here. And I think they're fine with that because they know that we have an Escavalier. And they think that if they can overload, they can really threaten us. But we now grabbed the shield advantage. We took out the Giratina, and now we are looking really good here. They've got a Tapu Fini. You need to chip the Tapu Fini because two Sludges do not KO a Tapu Fini. So always chip Tapu Fini if you know you're going to be swapping out. And now we meet this with our Galarian Weezing, running Sludge. Again, not the best charge move, but it gets the job done up against the fairies in this Fantasy Cup meta. We still have a one shield advantage, going for the Sludge here and grabbing a shield from the Tapu Fini. We had another one locked and loaded. Weezing about as spammy as it gets, doing big damage on the Fini. And now it is just about lights out as we have a two shield advantage. They really realize that as they do promptly top left. Good game, well played. Yeah, I really decided to think outside the box with the moveset on Guzzlord. I don't think you should be running dragon type moves in a meta where 66% of the meta resists that damage. Not a good idea. What's also not good is a Haxorus lead. I've tried pressuring a shield, but the damage that you take in the process is just not worth it, so it's best just to insta-swap into your safe swap. We do take a debuff in the process, but it does no damage, and we are now staring at a Steelix. We faked an overheat, grabbing an early shield. That was really clutch with our Weezing, but the fact that we didn't go for it, I think tipped our hand a little bit. I think they're onto us now, and they are no longer giving up those shields, so the cat's out of the bag, but we will still try to throw proper timing. Those last two, we accidentally threw with poor timing, but we've got it locked in here now, and what we need to do is stall here. We cannot let this Weezing go down to a potential earthquake, so we do shield that up, and that is a good shield. We wanted to stall long enough to preserve that Weezing and get out relatively unscathed, because we need that for that Haxorus. We need the Weezing for the Haxorus. We pivot back into our Escav, taking a debuff in the process, and they meet us with a Giratina, so Haxorus, Escavalier, I'm thinking at this point is expendable, so we are going to play out the zeros and just put the pressure on this Giratina. We landed one drill run, going for drill run number 2 on the CMP. They do let that go, recognizing that their Giratina is also very much expendable. Knowing that we have a Weezing lurking in the back, they take us out with a Shadow Ball, and now we're going to go for a Snarl down with our Guzzlord here. The energy is hard-walled, so they can throw whatever they want. We are going to look to load up on energy here. They meet our Guzzlord with the Haxorus, and we are going to look to pressure that final shield with a crunch, with stab, and we do get that last shield. So we try to catch a breaking swipe onto our Weezing, but I don't think we waited long enough, and they exercise brilliant patience, hang on to that energy, likely expecting a potential catch themselves. And this is just a Psychic Fangs. It is super effective, but it does very little damage. And we are just going to try our very best to get rid of this Steelix. We've been debuffed into oblivion here. Holy smokes, what a debuffing team our opponent has, but it does not matter. Weezing refuses to go down without a fight. We are saying bye-bye to the Steelix. And although debuffed into oblivion, we are still double resisting these counters, as well as double resisting a potential breaking swipe. We survive long enough to get off this breaking swipe. It is just icing on the cake, doing big damage to the Haxorus on our way out, and now it is smooth sailing from here. We preserved a shield to allow Guzzlord to bring this home here for us. They are now energy dry. We are not. We make it to this crunch. Holy smokes, they're fighting tooth and nail to the very end. But we're saying bye-bye to the Haxorus nonetheless as the timer begins to count down. Holy smokes, Guzzlord coming in clutch to close strong. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Yeah, in a meta where 66% of the eligible meta can resist Dragon-type damage, you kind of want to steer away from Dragon-type moves. And here we go. Had a Reggie lead. That's an amazing lead for Escav. And they safe swap a Tapu Fini. And like I said, you have to chip the Tapu Fini before making the play into Weezing, or grab a shield. That's fine too. Either way, you want to either grab that shield or chip. We get the shield, so we're fine to come in with Weezing at this point. We do survive a surf, and they cannot farm down, so we're going to go for the sludge. We're kind of going to fake a play rough and just go for the sludge. That's why we're running it mostly for Tapu Fini and all other fairies in the meta, of course. And we will shield up their second surf, as it doesn't KO, but the water guns will begin to add up. So now we're just going to build up to just about back-to-back sludges here, and look to get rid of this Tapu Fini. It's bad news for our Guzzlord, and they come in with a Giratina. Holy smokes. They're likely thinking that we may have overheat, but they are in for a rude awakening. We're not running overheat, not when we have Escav on the lead. Oh my goodness, the movesets are throwing the opponents off their guard in the Fantasy Cup. You love to see it. And now we grab the final shield. So now, of course, we're going to meet this with our Guzzlord and hardwall all that energy that they farmed off of our Weezing. And they pivot back into the Reggie, but they've lost alignment. It's not going to happen for them, unfortunately. They have no shields. We have one, and we are a nightmare matchup for this Registeel here. I do imagine they might be top lefting sometime soon here. They have no win con, unfortunately. We shield up the Zap Cannon, and anytime you want to top left, it's not going to happen, unfortunately, for our opponent, and they do top left. That's going to be a good game. Well played to them. Oh, this team was a lot of fun, and it was quite effective as well. And here we go, another Registeel lead. You'd love to see it if you run Escav. They make a play into Giratina, so this was one of the earlier battles where I didn't wait to I always look at the top left corner, but in this meta, if you see Dragon Ghost, you really want to wait and see which form it is. That way you can meet it with the proper Pokemon. Guzzlord isn't a bad Pokemon to meet Giratina with, but if you've got a Weezing in the bag, that's definitely what you'll want to bring in onto a Giratina Altered. But here we are. We do comfortably tank 2 Dragon Claws from Giratina Altered, no problem. And we get a defense drop. You love to see it. Gonna shield this one up. They're putting up a fight here. This is why I don't like bringing Guzzlord in, because it's a lot closer than you would really like to see. It's just more comfortable for Weezing, especially when you run a Brutal Swing here. And they do just play out the ones and let the Giratina go. Oh, but they've got a Tapu Fini in the bag. This is why we are running this moveset in this meta. Oh, they seldom think ahead about the sludge bomb, and they let that go. Guzzlord doing big damage. Half the health on the Fini is gone, and now we're going to meet this with our Weezing here. We do tank a Surf. They did get a nice resisted farm down on our Guzzlord, so they are quite loaded. We're going to try it. Oh, and they catch the sludge. Holy smokes. How did they know we had sludge? We gave them no indication that we had it. That's a lucky catch for them, and it worked out. Oh, that catch was brutal. So now we are energy dry. Maybe should have rebanked a move. I think that would have been a solid play for us, as we do survive any one move. And with our steel typing, we are resisting these lock-ons. So we do let that Zap Cannon go, knowing that the Tapu Fini is absolutely loaded, and we're going to just load up as much as we can. They were very close to a Focus Blast, and there was no way that we were going to Fairy Wind them down. So we had to throw that there, and we just don't make it to the move. Oh my goodness, that was so unfortunate. We needed to grab that final shield from them, having to shield the Surf, but they are very much close to back-to-back, going for the second one here. It does not KO, but the water guns do put us in danger of being farmed down before we can get to the back-to-back. We're trying, but we just cannot get there. Oh, they made a clutch catch, and that really did it for them in the end. Good game, well played. Oh, this team was so much fun. I had such a good time with this team here. And here we go. Escav mirror match on the lead. Now, we have a very highly ranked Escavalier, so we don't often win CMP tie, but they make it easy on us. They make a catch onto a Como-O, so that is absolutely fine. What we're going to look to do is just rebank this energy, and the beauty of doing this is we can also return the favor in the process. Catch and double resisted damage on our Fairy. You absolutely love to see it. And now Como-O with that dragon fighting typing is taking double super effective damage from these Fairy Winds. So we are gonna Fairy Wind this Como-O right down to Funky Town, loading up on energy. And they come back in with the S-Cap. We are loaded. We have the potential to one-shot with Overheat. They don't know the moveset. We grab the shield. You love to see it yet again. And we did not build up to another Overheat. I was not expecting a shield, but they likely lost track of the energy. That is unfortunate for them. And now we can just let Weezing go. We've got a 2-shield advantage. We will take that to the bank for sure. And oh, they make an aggressive play into a Florges. Holy smokes, Weezing popping off in the Fantasy Cup, getting a super effective sludge as it goes down. And now we just bring Guzzlord in here. We're not running Sludge Bomb to not hit fairies with it, guys. We're getting to this Sludge Bomb, surviving the Disarming Voice, double super effective, that bulk coming in clutch. We're saying bye-bye to the Florges, courtesy of a Sludge Bomb from our Guzzlord. Holy smokes, this team popping off in the Fantasy Cup. I'm telling you, it was tons of fun. Hit this S-Cav with a Drill Run. Hits for neutral damage, doesn't quite KO, but we've got the shields. And this is just about 99 sleep tight for our opponent. We can just counter down here. The S-Cav goes down. My goodness, I'm telling you, this team, so much fun and very much effective in the Fantasy Cup. Good game, well played. I'm telling you guys, these movesets on our backline had the opponent's heads spinning in the Fantasy Cup. It was a lot of fun, and here we go. What's also fun is a poison-type lead, such as Galarian Weezing, although they do always have that threat of one-shotting with the Overheat, so we have to tread lightly here. Gonna go for the Drill Run. They do survive a super effective Drill Run, and we cannot farm down, but we will shield out of caution, not looking to lose our S-Cav this early on in the game. They do grab an early shield, and they pivot into a Giratina. Oh, I'm telling you guys, Giratina, not safe when you've got a Guzzlord lurking in the back, and I cannot stress enough how important it is to wait until you actually see which form it is. That way you know which Pokemon to bring in onto it. If it's Origin, you're bringing in Guzzlord. If it's Altered, you're bringing in Weezing. And we get the attack drop from the Crunch. Doesn't KO, but it gives us a nice, healthy farm on our Guzzlord. We don't shield a thing coming from Giratina Origin. Not likely they're running Dragon Pulse, but after seeing this video, some traders might make the switch. So we do get that farm down. We are in the red, but Guzzlord has a very high HP stat. We are absolutely loaded. They bring back in that Weezing. We go for this Sludge Bomb saying bye-bye to the unsuspecting Weezing. Holy smokes, I'm telling you guys, my goodness. And they've got a Flygon remaining, just going to get what chip damage we can. And because Flygon is very squishy, they saved those shields for it. This is a very safe Acid Spray right here, grabbing a shield, and now we can counter down. And oh, they did not like giving up a shield on a double resistant Acid Spray. They top left. It was not trending in the right direction. Good game, well played to them. Oh, the unconventional moveset was coming in super clutch, and it was super satisfying. And here we go, A/lead. That's why we've got Escav on the lead here. They make a play into a Giratina Altered, and after all of that explanation in the previous battle, we still meet it with the wrong Pokemon. But it's not that bad. It's not the worst matchup in the world. It's just much more comfortable to have a Galarian Weezing on an Altered form and a Guzzlord on the Origin form, as it is quite close here. But here we are. It's okay. Not a big deal. They're going to go for another Dragon Claw. We do survive that, and they will struggle to farm down with resisted Shadow Claws. Going to fire off another Crunch and see if they want to give up a shield. They do not. They're going to cut the losses, play out the zeros, and I would imagine try to go for an ambitious resisted farm down, which isn't the worst play in the world. They're going to take a lot of damage in the process, but from their viewpoint, that's okay because they know that we have an Escavalier. And they will leave this matchup as low as possible on health while maximizing their energy gains. So not a bad idea for them. But the game doesn't allow us to get a counter through. Oh my goodness, that was so annoying. If we had gotten that counter through, the A/ would have gone down and we would have denied them that energy, but instead we have to give up a shield, and now they go down because the counter went through on the second one. Very annoying. So we're going to try and make up for that and compensate by baiting with an Acid Spray, reading that they'll likely want to shield once and farm down, and that's exactly what plays out here. But rank 4 Escav has something to say about that. Those rank 4 IVs coming in clutch, allowing us to pressure that final shield before we go down, and now we are in the driver's seat here. We do survive a drill run from an Escavalier, no problem, and they will not farm down with double resisted counters. We just shield the second move, and we will get to a brutal swing to hit this severely compromised Escav with. Holy smokes, this team putting in the work in the Fantasy Cup. We say bye-bye to the Escav, and Weezing left standing in the end to close the game strong. That's going to be yet another good game. Well played. So if you have these 3 Pokemon available, I would highly suggest giving it a try. For reasons like this, every team has a Giratina. That's a nightmare lead. We go into Weezing here on the safe swap, and they're staying in a little bit here. So we are going to put the pressure on with the threat of a super effective brutal swing. They do let that go, banking some energy in the process, and they meet us with an Escavalier of their own here. Gonna fake the overheat. Definitely always worth faking the overheat on a Pokemon like Escav because you're almost guaranteed a shield. And now we let this go. Weezing got the shield advantage for us. And the Acid Spray! Holy smokes! Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna take full advantage of that. Gonna fake another overheat, see if we can grab that second shield. They're not falling for it. They let it go. And they likely thought that we were going to try and fight hard for Switch, but that's not a flippable matchup for us, so we were fine at just taking the shield advantage, and they do take us out, recognizing that. And I do believe, yeah, we're going to let this go. They love to bait with Acid Spray. Not falling for that yet again. That's double resisted trainer. Not going to cut it. We're farming down. Loading up on energy. The Giratina does have a move, but we do win CMP tie as we hit like a truck, guys, going for this drill run. It doesn't KO. We don't want to let Escav go down with energy, so we will even up the shielding scenario and shield up their move. They go Ominous Wind. Doesn't matter. It's hanging on by a thread. We pivot into Guzzlord, drawing out a second Steel type coming in the form of a Alolan Sandslash in Shadow form, going for this Crunch, doing some nice neutral damage. No defense drop, but that is okay. Going for Crunch number 2. Going to try for yet another defense drop. Not that we needed with a counter user, but it just further cements the matchup. And they are going to go for, I would presume, an Ice Punch. That is the move you want to be going for. On a Dragon type like Guzzlord. Doesn't KO. They're going to have to throw another one, and they do. And this is just about over. We are still very healthy. They're energy dry. They're going to go down to 2 counters. And right about here, it would have been very safe to go for an Acid Spray. But I figured they saw that they didn't have a win con. They would just let it go. But they don't. They want to throw up a shield knowing that they do not have a win con. And that's why Acid Spray would have been very safe. Because even if they let that go, the counter down would have been a lot easier, but we got that done in the end. That is the team. Good game, well played to them. And holy smokes, the unconventional moveset on Guzzlord was so clutch. We got to hit some fairies with sludge bombs, got to hard wall some Giratinas. What more could you ask for? It sometimes pays to think outside the box, and it definitely paid off with this team. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.